Pakistan in the 1960s was the government would declare one day to be the beginning of the month, and the ulama would challenge the government and say, no, you're wrong. And the country was siding with the ulama against the government. And eventually, the government had to concede, and then they established a committee to announce that the Hilal moon has been seen. And that solved the problem. And the whole of Pakistan now has the commencement of the month of Ramadan and the celebration of Eid al-Fitr based upon evidence that the moon has been sighted. And when the moon is not sighted, then of course the month would have one more day. Now, the question that is coming is why can't we all fast on the same day? Would it not be a manifestation of unity in the ranks of our Muslims? Does it make sense to you, Sheikh, that we should all fast on the same day? And if we all fast on the same day, then we can celebrate Eid al-Fitr on the same day. Sheikh, what is your response? And now, here is my response. If primary guidance comes from the Quran, it doesn't come from a piece of paper. It doesn't come from a calendar. It doesn't come from a conference in Istanbul. Primary guidance comes from the Quran. And guidance comes from the Hadith as well, to the extent that the Hadith is in harmony with the Quran and not in conflict with the Quran. So, what does the Quran say? Does the Quran tell us that we must all fast on the same day? Does it do that? There is only one verse of the Quran which commands the fast of Ramadan, and it is verse 185 of Surah Al Baqarah. And this is what it says: it says, whosoever from amongst you gets the evidence that the months of Ramadan has commenced, it is now obligatory on him to fast. So the command is not directed to all of the ummah. It is directed to only that part of the ummah which has the evidence that the month has commenced. And the other part which does not as yet have the evidence that the month has commenced cannot begin the fast. They will have to wait one more day. And so this is my answer to you. It is not a part of the divine plan. The system of time in Islam does not want us all to commence the fast of Ramadan on the same day, and therefore to celebrate Eid al-Fitr on the same day. And those who are struggling and struggling in a misguided struggle, that we all must commence the fast on the same day, and all must celebrate Eid al-Fitr on the same day. My warning to you is you are abandoning the Quran. Go back to the Quran and study the Quran. The second thing I want to say is that when Allah speaks about evidence, those who have the evidence that the month has come, Ramadan, it is obligatory to fast. The question is, what is evidence? And the answer has to be, what was evidence in the Sunnah? Do you mind if I say that? What was the evidence for the Prophet ﷺ? What was evidence for the early Muslim, the Aslaf? Was it an aeroplane flying in the sky? Or was it a high powered telescope or microscope? What was it? What was evidence? Was it a chart based on scientific calculations? What was the Sunnah? Are you listening to me? The Sunnah was that Allah, who required of us evidence, Allah gave us the tools, the apparatus with which to collect the evidence, to seek the evidence. And the tools or the apparatus were the human eyes. Yes, one of the greatest of Allah's inventions is, sorry, creation, is human sight. Yes, human sight. And so the Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam would himself look up in the sky. That was the Sunnah. And all his companions would look up in the sky. That was the Sunnah. And they would, of course, look at the sky at the time when the sun was setting. They looked at the sunset, and the sun used to set at that time in the west, and it is still setting in the west up to this day. And if you have abandoned the Sunnah today, either innocently like sheep and goats, or deliberately as part of a plan to dismantle the religion of Islam, and you no longer use your eyes to look for the evidence. And you do not want us to use our eyes to look for the evidence that Ramadan has come in. We say to you, we don't want to abandon the Sunnah. We want to remain faithful to the religion as it has come to us from the Quran and from the Prophet. Allah's blessings be upon him. So here is my answer to you. If you have been following some chart or some calendar, or the Imam in the masjid has the one, he's the one who has to do everything for you, and he simply informs you, and then you begin the fast. The answer to you, the warning for you, is you better be careful and look in the sky and ensure if you do not see the moon, if you do not have the evidence, that someone else has the evidence, and it is evidence which is acceptable according to the law of evidence. You have to be careful because if you violate the command of the Quran and you commence fasting without proper evidence, legally accepted evidence, then the consequences can be tremendous loss for you. Tremendous loss for you. You would be surprised on Judgment Day to learn of all the loss you suffered because you did not commence the fast of Ramadan in accordance with the law. The Malhama is the great war. The Christians and the Jews call it Armageddon. That in that war, Allah is going to destroy those who are a people who deny and reject the truth. He's referring to a, a, a human beings who are evil and to jinn who are evil. And there is an alliance between human beings and jinn in that gathering or that jama'ah, double jama'ah of evil people who reject the truth. And these are the ones who are going to be destroyed. And my analysis, my conclusion, is that Allah is speaking about the alliance between evil people and evil jinn in modern Western civilization. This civilization has come to demolish the religious way of life. This civilization does not believe in the hereafter. It's just lip service. And so it's modern Western civilization